Hello and welcome to part 3 of our Deathtrap Dungeon by Ian Livingstone and some people who've turned it into a video adventure. A video game video adventure. We have played two sessions so far, and last session we went down a slimy wormhole and got our head chopped off by an angry grub. So we're going to reverse that decision and carry on our adventure. Thankfully it saves it at every decision.
Ahead, you hear the sound of rocks being ground and crushed. The noise grows louder.
Oh no.
And suddenly you realize that
I have to fight the grub again.
right is starting to collapse. Terrified, you watch as a large, hideous, worm-like creature with a gaping mouth and powerful mandibles slivers through a hole in the wall.
We get to see the art again.
Jaws continue to crunch the rock
Nice
as
hatching.
it turns its head slowly from side to side, feeling the cool air in the tunnel. It appears to be totally blind, but seems to know of your presence, perhaps sensing the heat of your body. It starts to slither towards you with its mandibles wide apart to attack.
So last time we killed this without taking any damage.
You draw your sword and advance slowly towards the huge, slimy rock grub.
Ew. This time we're probably gonna flub completely. Last time we had to redo a fight, it went so badly.
You thrust your sword, and you clearly damaged the creature.
So far so good. But our luck was insane
Picking
last
up
time.
a rock, you managed to smash it into the head of the rock grub. It screeches in pain, withdrawing enough for you to ready for another attack.
Okay, come on, come on.
The rock grub darts out and snaps for your leg. Thankfully, you see it coming and move quickly.
That was good. That was a draw.
The rock grub is strong, but slow.
But I'm stronger.
You swing your sword, which smashes into its pulsating body.
Come on.
You thrust your sword, and you clearly damage the
Only
creature.
just. Come on, keep it up. Don't take damage. Nope.
Snapping at you with its mandibles,
Ow.
the creature catches your leg.
Damn.
You're able to fight it off, but the wound is deep.
Attack, attack.
Picking up a rock, you manage to smash it into the head of the rock grub. It screeches in pain, withdrawing enough for you to ready for
I
another.
still feel like it should be immune to rocks. Just eats them. That should
The
be
rock grub
okay.
is strong, but slow. You swing your sword.
Okay,
which
so we're another
smashes
2
into
stamina
its
down compared to
pulsating
last
body.
time.
Pleased with your combat skills, you step round the great bulk of the dead rock grub and peer into the darkness of the borehole it left. You can only see a few meters, but are able to make out that it inclines slightly and is wet from the secreted slime of the rock grub.
I mean, that sounds lovely, but we explored the wet slimy hole last time and we got a neck snap, so let's just go west.
After a long walk down the tunnel, you come to a dead end. A large mirror reaching from the ceiling to the floor
Oh no,
hangs
not
on the
mirrors.
wall. And in the dim light, you can just about make out your own reflection.
This mirror is gonna like trap my soul in it or something.
You step up to the mirror and are amused by your distorted reflection. Your head looks as large as a pumpkin, and your face is exceedingly strange.
That's what my face looks like anyway.
Without warning, a terrible pain pounds through your head, and you try to look away from the mirror, but you are unable to. Some evil force is keeping your eyes glued to your own reflection. You grip your head with your hands and realize, with horror, that it is expanding. You can withstand it no longer, and blacking out with pain, you fall unconscious to the floor, never to wake. Your adventure ends here.
So that was all for now. We don't need to fight the rock grub, or go down the borehole, or go to the mirror. What we need to go, I guess we just go back here and we go east. So going west was a
You come to
lie.
an arched doorway set in the right-hand wall of the tunnel.
Oh no.
The heavy stone door is closed, but there is an iron latch and a round
Have to do the fly thing again. Try the door.
Lifting the latch and pushing the heavy stone door open, you find yourself in a large cabin. The light is dim and murky,
Yes.
but as your eyes begin to adjust, you see that the walls are covered in green algae and running with moisture.
Oh dear.
The floor is strewn with straw. The atmosphere is warm, damp and fetid, and a soft humming sound fills the air. You step gingerly through the straw towards a corner of the cabin where there appears to be a shallow pit. Peering warily into the pit, you are disgusted to see a mass of pale, writhing worms.
Don't tell me what I
Some
feel.
as much as half a meter long. Nauseated, you're about to turn away when you notice that their undulating bodies are swarming around a dagger. Its point held fast in a crack in the pit floor. The hilt is cased in black leather, studded with opals, and the blade is fashioned from a strange, reddish-black burnished metal
Magic
you
dagger.
have never seen before. You long to touch the dagger,
I do.
but this would mean plunging your hand in among the writhing worm.
So the penalty for going back is that you have to redo decisions and fights and go through them again and make all your dice rolls again.
Taking a deep breath, you lean over the pit and plunge your forearm into the mass of wriggling worms. They are cold and clammy and feel extremely nasty.
Nasty.
As you make your way back to the doorway,
Here we go.
the buzzing sound increases in
The last time we failed this, and we might succeed at
and
this
you
time.
look around,
The odds are in our
desperate to
favour.
discover where it's coming from. Glancing up in the nick of time, you see a huge and grotesque black shape of a giant fly emerging from a recess high up in the cavern wall. As it gets closer, you realize that it's at least 1.5 meters long. Its opaque wings
my.
vibrate,
The
making
horror.
the sickening buzzing noise you can hear. And its 6 black, hairy legs
But it
are
wouldn't.
poised to
It wouldn't make a
grasp your
buzzing
body.
noise. It would make a slow thrum
Below,
because the buzzing comes from
Its
how small it is.
multifaceted eyes is a long, shiny black proboscis, which darts in and out venomously. You have stolen the giant fly's treasure from her brood of maggots, and you must face the consequences.
She wants to feed me to the
It's
maggots.
time to test your luck again.
She has to kill me
Remember.
first.
A roll equal to or less than your luck score means you've been lucky.
Got it. Go. There we go.
The
Better
giant
this time.
fly swoops down again to try to
Go
catch you.
close. This
But this
reduces our
time you
luck.
manage to evade its outstretched legs. Stepping back, you draw your sword to prepare to fight the hideous insect as it turns to attack you again.
Right, well, I'm going to attack it and then I'm going to run. Gotta know when to run.
Flying just out of reach, the fly sprays its acidic saliva into
Ow.
your face. It burns your eyes and you scramble to wipe it off.
Goodbye, fly.
As you prepare to take on
I know
the
the
giant
odds are
fly,
against me.
you find yourself next to the door you came in. Happy to leave the fly locked in the room, you take the opportunity to escape.
Yes.
The tunnel ends shortly at a junction. Looking left and right,
Wait.
you see a narrow passage disappearing into the dim
Is that a bug? Shouldn't it have taken another 2... No, that's my skill. Where's my stamina? No, my stamina's here. So before I do that, let's eat some provisions. Let's get up to 15. We discovered that going west is an absolute disaster. Going east is the way.
Walk down the passage and soon find yourself standing at the edge of a deep, dark pit. The passage continues east on the other side of the pit. You think you could probably jump over the pit, but you're not sure. There is a rope hanging down from the ceiling over the center of the pit.
Also, my luck didn't go down. I swear it should have. Reach for the rope with your sword to enable you to swing across the pit. Jump over the pit carrying all your possessions. Throw your shield over the pit and jump after it. Well, I think I don't want to lose my gear. Is it going to be a luck roll or is it going to be a fail?
Taking a step forward, you leap towards the edge of the pit. How lucky are you feeling?
I'm feeling
Rolling
lucky.
equal to or less than your luck score means you've been lucky. But a higher roll could cost you. Your armor and sword weigh you down, but you just manage to land safely on the far edge of the pit. You waste no time and head east. The tunnel makes a sudden left turn and continues north as far as you can see. You soon arrive at a closed...
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Wait, so if I didn't... Is that just... So where was the pit? Oh, there was the pit. It says the tunnel made a sudden left turn, but, like, I can see a... I can see a way
wooden
up.
door in the left-hand wall.
Oh, now I understand what happened. Open the door.
The door
Would you another
opens into
gem?
a large candlelit room filled with incredibly lifelike statues of knights and warriors. A white-haired old man dressed in tattered rags jumps out from behind one of the statues and starts to giggle. Though he looks like a fool, the sparkle in his eyes makes you think there is more to him. In a high-pitched voice, he says, "Oh, good! Another stone for my garden. I'm glad you have come to join your friends. Now, I'm a fair man, so I'll ask you a question. If you answer correctly, I'll let you go free.
Not a riddle.
But if your answer is wrong, I'll turn you to stone." He starts to chuckle again, obviously pleased with your arrival.
This narrator has a very sadistic air about him. Wait for his question.
The old man points at one of the statues, and you recognize it immediately.
Ooh.
It is the knight who started the Trial of Champions. The agonized look on his face locked in stone for eternity. The old man smiles, saying, "This man weighs 100 pounds plus half his weight. How much does he weigh?" What will you answer?
£100 plus half his weight. I mean, 150 is obvious, but is it too obvious? It could be that plus half his weight, he then weighs 100 pounds. Like half his weight was 50, plus half his weight is another 50, therefore he weighs 100. Should we go for as if this is a trick question? We'll go for 100.
Still smiling. The old man looks at you and says quietly, "Wrong."
Nope.
And before you can do anything
Wasn't a trick
else,
question.
he mumbles a few strange words into the air. You feel your muscles harden and your skin go taut. You start to panic. but there is nothing you can do to stop the petrification of your body. Your adventure ends here.
Come on, that sounded like a trick question. Now I have to answer the question again.
The tunnel makes a sudden left turn and continues north as far
We
as
can
you
skip
can.
this. Open the door.
The door opens.
Let's find out if this was rigged or not, shall we?
The old man points at one of the statues. Still smiling, the old man looks at you and says quietly, "Wrong." And before you can do anything else, he mumbles a few strange words into the air. You feel your muscles harden and your
So that was a
skin go
lie
taut.
as well. It's not
You start to
150.
panic, but there is nothing you can do to stop the petrification of your body. Your adventure ends here.
So wait, the trick for the trick question is that he weighs 200 pounds and half his weight is 100 pounds, and then I had the right thinking.
The tunnel makes a sudden.
I had the right thinking, but I had the wrong order of thinking. If that makes sense. Look, I'm trying not to feel stupid,
The
okay?
door opens into. The old man points.
I hate riddles.
Still smiling, the old man looks at you and says,
Well done, stranger. You have answered correctly.
Now give me a
I
gem.
wish you good fortune during the rest of the trial of champions. And to this end, I shall increase your powers.
He then mutters a few more unintelligible words, and you feel a powerful surge soar through your body, increasing your skill, stamina, and luck by 1. You bid the old man farewell and leave his room to continue north along the passage.
I thought my skill was already 11, so
Only
I
a
should have
few
gone up to
meters
12.
further down the passage, you see another closed door in the left-hand wall.
Did I lose one?
The letter X is scratched into its center panel. Putting your ear to the door, you listen intently, but can hear nothing.
Oh, it's just like our RPG. We always opened doors where we could hear nothing.
The door opens into a large room. Looking around, you see an alcove in the west wall.
Oh no, alcoves are
In the
deadly.
middle of the room, sitting in the chair, is the skeleton of an armed warrior, possibly a contestant from years gone by.
Oh
The
shit.
skeletal fingers of its right hand
Look, that bell.
grip
Look,
a crumpled parchment.
it's my reflection. Walk over to the alcove.
At
Let's
the
find
back
out
of the
more.
alcove are some steps leading down into a cellar. Cobwebs brush your face as you descend. The cellar ceiling is quite low, and the floor is strewn with debris. In the middle of the wall opposite you is an archway, which leads into another crystal-lit tunnel. There are large mushrooms growing on the debris to your right.
But what was on the paper? Did it say don't eat the mushrooms? I'm gonna eat the mushrooms.
You break up a large piece of the mushroom and bite into it eagerly.
Eagerly.
But immediately your stomach feels bloated, and you can even see it beginning to bulge below your belt.
Oh, I'm
Your
gonna
whole
explode.
body starts to expand, bursting out of your clothes with a loud ripping sound. You grow bigger and bigger, and soon your face is pressed against the ceiling. The mushrooms you have eaten are much sought after by wizards for their growth potions, but to you they spell doom. You are too large ever to leave the cellar, and your adventure ends.
Oh no. Why couldn't I just cut the mushrooms and save them for later? Oh no. What am I doing? Every choice I make is wrong this episode. Oh dear.
Only a few meters further down the passage, you see another closed door in the left-hand wall. The letter X is scratched into its center panel. Putting your ear to the door, you listen intently, but
But there's nothing. Is everything gonna be death in here?
The
So
door
let's get the paper this time.
opens into a large room.
I wonder if it'll let me go down the
Looking
alcove though.
around, you see an alcove in the west wall. In the middle of the room, sitting in the chair, is the skeleton of an armed warrior, possibly a contestant from years gone by.
What happens?
Touching the parchment has precisely the effect you had feared.
Oh no.
The skeleton lurches forward and, rising from its chair in a series of jerky movements, raises its sword to strike you.
It's time to fight.
Lunging sideways, you draw your sword to defend yourself.
Fight, fight, fight. Come on then. Attack.
You dodge to the side as the warrior swings its sword. You kick out, knocking its legs out from under it.
I'll try my luck because it's got quite high skill and I got 1 luck point back recently. That's only just makes it.
And your luck is in.
Okay, we only need to get it one more time. Come on, yes.
You run around the jerking skeleton, smashing your sword into its arm.
Once again, you reach for the parchment, only this time lying amidst a pile of broken bones. Unfolding it, you see a map
Exploding
of a room,
runes.
the drawing of a hideous creature inside it. Beneath the monster is a rhyme which reads, "Should you meet the manticore, of its tail beware. Shield yourself against the spikes flying through the air." You fold up the piece of parchment and put it in your backpack,
Okay.
repeating the rhyme over and over to yourself.
Gotta keep a shield.
You walk across to the alcove. At the back of the alcove are some steps leading down into a cellar. Cobwebs brush your face as you descend.
Blech.
The cellar ceiling is quite low, and the floor is strewn with debris. In the middle of the wall opposite you is an archway, which leads into another crystal-lit tunnel. There are large mushrooms growing on the debris to your right.
Oh, we know what happens when you eat the shrooms. I would like to gather some of the mushrooms
The
though, but
tunnel
there's no option.
continues west for several hundred meters, finally ending at some steps leading up to a closed trapdoor. You climb the steps slowly, hearing muffled voices above you. In the dim light, you can see that the trapdoor is not locked.
Well, that's very aggressive. I don't know if those voices are friend or foe. Let's just knock on it.
You hear footsteps and suddenly the trapdoor is thrown back. For a few seconds you are completely blinded by the bright light from the room above and do not see the goblin thrusting his spear downwards or hear his sadistic laughter.
It's a gobbo!
Pierces your neck. Your adventure ends here.
Oh no. No, goblin, no. So we're going, oh my goodness. We've gone off on one for sure here. So we're going down and then up again. And we missed this whole bit up here. Just for a piece of manticore parchment so far. Still haven't found another gem. Maybe there was a gem in my box, who knows. Okay. Try again.
The tunnel continues west.
We know this. Let's go through and
You
splatter
throw
the
the
goblins.
trapdoor open and run up the steps into a bright, lantern-lit room. 2 goblins are sharpening their short swords on a stone set in the middle of the floor. You catch them momentarily off guard,
Ha!
but they quickly recover and both rush forward to attack you. A point of note here, adventurer. Because of the shape of the room, both goblins will have a separate attack on you in each attack round. However,
multi-combat.
here your attack will only be effective on one of the goblins. Against the other, you must still use your attack strength in a normal way. But even if your attack would have been effective, you will not wound it. It will just count this as though you have defended yourself. However,
very well.
If its attack strength is greater, it will have wounded you in the normal way.
I don't like normal wounds. Let's go. Attack. They're not super skilled. And then they roll really high.
You hurl yourself at your enemy, fists flailing, and land a stunning blow.
Even if it had rolled as much as it could, that would have been a draw.
You both swing for each other, and in the confusion, both miss.
Right. The second goblin doesn't count anyway.
You thrust your sword, and you clearly damage the creature.
Goodbye, little goblin. They've got 5 health points, just like the ones I used to summon in our RPG with a goblin tooth. We used to get them to do everything. It was great.
Your enemy is strong, but slow, and screams in pain as your sword sinks into his leg.
Goblins are no match for me. Rah! Just as I said that.
You the creature's stomach with your sword drawn, but the creature whips around, parrying your blow. Neither of you are harmed.
Still a draw, though. Come on. That should do it.
You hurl yourself at your enemy, fists flailing, and land a stunning blow.
Got a sword. Why would I want to punch him?
You thrust your sword, and you clearly damage the creature.
Triumphant in one of your toughest battles to date.
That wasn't my toughest battle.
You see that the only furniture in the goblin's room
that was easy.
Is a table, 2 chairs, and a cupboard on the wall.
Oh,
there are 2 closed doors, one in the west wall and the other in the north wall.
Open the cupboard.
The cupboard contains a wooden mallet and 10 iron spikes, which you put in your backpack while wondering which door to open.
Okay, so historically, West has always gone terribly for us, hasn't it, guys? The mallet and the spikes are going to be for climbing a wall somewhere. So instinct says north. Being bloody-minded says west. Also looking at the map. So we tried to go west here and it was all death the whole way. Going west here would have meant we didn't get the rope that helped us get the first emerald. So, and going north here would probably join this up with wherever you're meant to be going. Presumably, maybe. I still feel like west would be the way to go, maybe. Let's go west.
The door opens into another tunnel. Walking west, you soon arrive at another door in the north wall.
But we're going to open the door and see what's inside.
The door opens into a small room in which there is a human skull with jeweled eyes resting on the top of a marble plinth. A row of loaded crossbows is fixed to the left-hand wall, and 2 small wooden balls lie on the floor just inside the door.
Okay. Throw a wooden ball at the skull from the doorway. Sounds like what I would do.
You take aim and hurl the wooden ball at the skull. A test of skill.
Ooh. Come on. That's not too bad.
The wooden ball smashes into the skull, knocking it off the plinth and onto the floor. Much to your surprise, the crossbows do not release their deadly bolts. You step into the room cautiously and pick the skull up off the floor. You recognize the yellow jeweled eyes as topaz, and eagerly pluck them from their sockets. You put them in your backpack, wondering whether or not a trap still awaits you in the room.
Oh, oh, what a decision. I didn't think you would be able to get no, you can't get duplicates. There were 2 topazes, but it's only 1. Okay. Do I crawl out of the room holding the skull? Or do I place the skull in the plinth? The ball didn't trigger the... If I stand up to replace the skull on the plinth, maybe I crawl.
A tickling sensation runs down your spine as you crawl carefully out of the room. Back in the tunnel, you heave a sigh of relief.
Do I, though?
Throw the skull back into the room and slam the door shut. Pleased with your good fortune,
Am I?
you set off west once again.
I still feel that tickling
Takes a
sensation.
sharp turn. You find yourself in a sort of gallery lined with mirrors for some 20 meters.
Not mirrors
A
again.
human skeleton appears to be pulled halfway through the mirror along the right-hand wall.
Oh no.
Suddenly, a grotesque being with 4 arms and 4 screaming faces emerges from the mirror, barring your way ahead. It walks slowly towards you,
Oh, I know this
each
art.
arm outstretched to grab you. It is a mirror demon from another dimensional plane, come to take your spirit.
I can make a wish. Because I've got the wish ring. Okay. Shall we do it? Shall we use the wish ring?
You rub your magic ring and wish for the mirror demon to be transported back to its own world, never to return. Still advancing towards you, it starts to shimmer and fade away, vanishing completely just before it reaches you. Your quest continues north. In front of you are 2 flights of stone steps separated by a banister of rat skulls.
Okay. So whether we go up the right-hand steps past the lady skull, or the left-hand steps past the man skull, we will leave the next episode. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again. Maybe back here on YouTube, or maybe on twitch.tv/hollydragon_. Bye.